Welcome back, Celtics fans, to another post-game breakdown that we honestly were hoping we would not have to make today, but here we are facing some hard truths about our favorite basketball team. Before we dive into the specific details of what went completely wrong, I want to set the stage for what was supposed to be a triumphant end to a grueling road trip out west. The Boston Celtics had an incredible opportunity to completely sweep their post-All-Star road trip and return to the East Coast with massive momentum and the ultimate bragging rights. Instead, they ran into an absolute buzzsaw in the mountains and fell handedly to the defending NBA champion Denver Nuggets by a final score of 103-84. This was not just a regular loss on a Wednesday night in February, because this specific defeat carries a very heavy historical weight that has basketball analysts and historians all over the country sounding the alarm bells today. For those of you who keep close track of the intricate statistics and historical benchmarks of championship teams, the hopes of the Boston Celtics hitting 40 wins before suffering 20 losses are officially cooked. If you are relatively new to the intricate lore of the National Basketball Association, you might be wondering why that specific 40-20 ratio matters so much. We have to look back to the legendary Hall of Fame head coach Phil Jackson, who famously theorized that the ultimate mark of a true legitimate championship contender is achieving exactly that specific win-to-loss ratio. According to his highly respected theory, if a franchise can manage to secure 40 victories before they lose 20 games, they belong in the elite tier of genuine title contenders. If they fail to reach that mark, they are historically viewed as mere pretenders who might have a good regular season but lack the ultimate gear required to win it all. Historically speaking, the numbers heavily back up this famous Phil Jackson theory, with the vast majority of NBA champions throughout modern history having successfully hit that exact threshold en route to hoisting the Larry O'Brien Championship trophy. Missing this critical benchmark does not mean the season is entirely over for Boston, but it absolutely presents a harsh and alarming dose of reality for a team that has very loud championship aspirations. It forces everyone in the organization, from the front office down to the players on the floor, to look in the mirror and figure out exactly what is going wrong against the top-tier elite competition in this league. But to truly understand why the Celtics looked so completely out of sorts and lethargic against the Nuggets, we have to talk about the absolute brutality of the NBA schedule. The header of the news articles today really gets the point across perfectly, because playing back-to-back games on a West Coast road trip should honestly be illegal for the health and physical safety of these professional athletes. This specific highly anticipated game in Denver was the final agonizing leg of a grueling 4-game road trip away from home, and it absolutely looked like it from the opening tip. Not only were the players at the very end of a long journey, but it was the second night of a back-to-back schedule, which is the most dreaded scenario in professional basketball. The Celtics had to play a highly competitive and physically draining game against the Phoenix Suns, expend a massive amount of physical and mental energy to secure that victory, get on an airplane late at night, fly multiple hours across the country to the state of Colorado, and then suit up to play against Nikola Jokic and the rested Nuggets less than 24 hours later. That entire travel obstacle course is difficult enough for any regular human being to endure, never mind having to go out and play 48 minutes of high-intensity professional basketball. When we evaluate the extreme physical demands placed on these incredible athletes, we have to look at the harsh reality of muscle recovery and cardiovascular endurance. The human body requires specific recovery windows after intense athletic exertion. Playing a high-intensity professional basketball game completely depletes the glycogen stores in the body and physically breaks down muscle tissue. To then immediately travel through the night and step onto the court less than a full day later is an absolute physiological nightmare. Furthermore, playing basketball in Denver introduces the extreme variable of high altitude. The thin mountain air in the mile-high city means there is significantly less oxygen available for the players to breathe in. This creates a rapid oxygen debt in the muscles during explosive movements, leading directly to exactly what we saw on the court, which is heavy legs, delayed defensive rotations, and a complete lack of explosive lift on their jump shots. Your fast-twitch muscle fibers simply cannot fire at their optimal capacity without proper cellular recovery and adequate oxygen saturation. It was clear as day to anyone watching the television broadcast that the Boston Celtics were feeling profound physical fatigue. They simply could not put the basketball in the basket, especially in the grueling second half of the game. They finished the night making an abysmal 35% of their total field goal attempts and a horrific 28% from beyond the three-point arc. They ultimately tallied a season low in total points, finishing the game with just 84 points, which is a completely unacceptable offensive output for a modern team with this much raw scoring talent. A massive portion of their struggles against the Nuggets had to do with their complete lack of control on the margins of the game. Because their legs were heavy and their defensive rotations were a half-step slow all night, the Denver Nuggets were able to completely dominate the hustle plays and control the glass. Denver ended up taking 10 more total shots than Boston did over the course of the entire game. Giving the defending champions 10 extra offensive possessions is an enormous mathematical advantage that is almost completely impossible to overcome, especially when you are already shooting the basketball so incredibly poorly. In a complete 180-degree turn from their highly impressive victory on Tuesday night down in Phoenix, the Celtics seemed to just let go of the rope a little bit when things did not perfectly go their way. When the jump shots stopped falling and the Nuggets inevitably went on a scoring run, the overall defensive intensity from Boston completely plummeted. From the top of the roster all the way down to the end of the bench, absolutely no one had their best game. It was simply one of those incredibly frustrating nights where the physical exhaustion compounded all the mental mistakes, resulting in an ugly blowout loss that leaves a sour taste in everyone's mouth. And we have not even talked about the strenuous sacrifices that the loyal fans had to make just to watch this disaster unfold on national television. People who have to wake up early for work in the morning stayed up well past midnight on the East Coast just to watch their absolute favorite basketball team completely run out of gas in the second half. The NBA schedule makers simply do not respect the sleep schedules of the dedicated fans or the physical health of the players when they construct these brutal late-night road trips. However, we absolutely have to take a quick moment to give a massive shout-out to the incredible community of loyal Celtics fans currently residing out in Denver, Colorado. If there is anyone you can always count on, it is the traveling Boston faithful. Every single year, they come out in massive numbers and make their presence felt when Boston makes their lone trip to the Ball Arena. They were so incredibly loud on Wednesday night that the local Denver Nuggets fans could not even drown them out when they started a massive "Let Us Go Celtics" chant early in the first quarter. It genuinely sounded like a home game at the TD Garden for the first 12 minutes of action. It is just a massive shame that the team could not give those incredibly dedicated fans much else to get loud and excited about as the game dragged on and the physical fatigue fully set in. This loss is a really tough pill to swallow right now, but it is a necessary learning moment and a massive reality check for a team that wants to win a championship this year. They have to figure out how to fight through immense adversity and find creative ways to win games even when their legs are incredibly heavy and their outside jump shots are not falling. I want to know exactly what all of you guys think about this brutal loss and the reality check it brings. Do you believe the Phil Jackson 40 wins before 20 losses rule means this team is officially doomed to fail in the playoffs, or do you think the brutal travel schedule and the high altitude completely excuse this poor regular season performance? Let me know all your thoughts and your bold predictions down in the comments section, because I absolutely love reading through your unique perspectives and debating with this amazing basketball community. If you enjoyed this detailed post-game deep dive and you want to stay completely updated on everything happening with the team, please do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button right now. Make sure you leave a massive like on the video to help support the channel in the algorithm, and please activate that notification bell so you never ever miss an upload when we drop brand new basketball content. Finally, if you want to take your support to the next level and help us keep doing what we love, please consider becoming an official channel member today. Your memberships directly help fund the creation of these deep dive videos and allow us to keep bringing you the best content possible. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.